you're thinking about moving to Melbourne Beach or Indialantic, here is your complete guide from someone who's lived here for the last 12 years. I'm gonna cover the pros and the cons, what drew me here, my favorite spots, and what to expect for real estate and lifestyle here on the Space Coast of Florida.
Melbourne Beach and Indialantic are Florida's best kept secret. Small town charm, stunning beaches, and a laid-back coastal lifestyle. Guys, I've been all over Florida and there is nothing quite like this place. We're in Brevard County, dead center on Florida's east coast. This stretch from Sebastian Inlet up to Cape Canaveral is called the Space Coast because, well, rockets. We see several rocket launches a week. Not many people get to say, I watched a rocket launch from the beach. I mean, come on, so cool. Another perk, you're close to everything. You can get to almost all of Florida's major cities in a 3-hour drive or less. The closest big city is Orlando, which is about an hour away and has flights everywhere. This is gonna be the cheapest option to fly in and out of. We also have an awesome little airport right here in Melbourne. It's clean, it's growing, but it only flies direct to a few cities. Nearby towns you'll get to know. Mainland, we have Melbourne with a great downtown and Florida Tech. This is where I went to school. Palm Bay, and then heading north, we have Suntree and Vieira, Rockledge and Cocoa. Then there's Merritt Island, and beachside, we have Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, Satellite Beach, Indian Harbor Beach, Indialantic, and finally, Melbourne Beach. At the southernmost part of the Space Coast, we have Melbourne Beach and Indialantic. These areas make up just a fraction of Brevard County, but that's why they're so awesome. South of town, Greater Melbourne Beach runs about 15 miles towards Sebastian Inlet and gets even quieter. It's basically all beaches, neighborhoods, and a couple of gas stations and a grocery store or two. Perfect if you like it mellow. Indialantic and Melbourne Beach feel very similar. Mostly residential single-family neighborhoods plus condos directly on the beach. No big towers, no corporate campuses, just a true small-town beach feel. Everything's close. The island is about a mile wide at most, so you're never more than half a mile from either the ocean or the river. There are great restaurants and bars, but the overall pace stays peaceful. Okay, obviously the beaches are the draw here. They are uncrowded, clean, great for fishing, and the reason that I moved here? Surfing. Space Coast is known for the best surf in Florida. World champions Kelly Slater and Caroline Marks grew up here. The water is warm, beginner friendly on small days, and can get serious on bigger swells. If you're new to it, definitely put surfing on your bucket list. Pro tip, check Surfline for the wind and wave forecast so you can know when to go, and peek at the local morning and photo video update on wavecaster.com. My favorite beaches are Ocean Ave, Paradise Beach, Spessard Holland, and some of the random walking accesses you can find sprinkled throughout. You can always find an uncrowded beach.
The two main dining corridors are 5th Ave and Ocean Ave, but there's good spots sprinkled all throughout.
A few of my personal favorites. Surfinista. They have smoothies, acai bowls, bagels, and healthy plant-based options. Villa Palma has the best Italian food in town. It's amazing. Dijon Steak and Lobster House, they have live piano. It's a little bit pricier, but it's totally worth it. Okay, for shopping, there are surf shops and boutiques here, but if you want to do any traditional shopping, you're going to want to head inland. Downtown Melbourne, Melbourne Square Mall, Hammock Landing in Palm Bay, or the avenues in Vieira. But the cool part about Indialantic and Mel Beach is that these things are not here. Remember, laid back, beachy lifestyle. You don't want a mall here, keep that mainland, which I hope you're starting to realize that you have proximity to everything you could ever want, but your immediate neighborhood and where you spend most of your time is mellow, beautiful, and quiet. My favorite local shops here are Catalyst Surf Shop, Longboard House, and my fiance's pick, Salty Shack for trendy women's clothing and jewelry.
There are paths and sidewalks all along A1A and Riverside, so walking, skating, biking to anywhere is super easy.
Parks covering everything. Pickleball, basketball, soccer, and there are beach courts for volleyball. Golfers, we have Spessard Holland and Aquarina, both really fun, well-kept, and affordable courses. On the water, you can kayak, paddleboard, windsurf, or fish in either the lagoon or the ocean. If you want to go all in on the beach town life, yes, a golf cart is amazing to have. For health and wellness options, you have 3 main gyms and the Indie Yard, a super cool spot with cold plunges, yoga, etc. There are group run clubs over the Melbourne Causeway and yoga sessions in the park.
So, what's the community vibe? Nance Park frequently hosts music festivals and farmers markets.
There are monthly food trucks and live music nights, 5Ks, and a triathlon. Melbourne Beach Founders Day is a huge event. July 4th, fireworks from the bridge, there's tons happening. Down at Sebastian Inlet, there's camping, hiking, surf contests, and truly world-class fishing from the beach, lagoon, bridge, or jetty. With a boat, you can pop offshore or cruise the islands and sandbars in the lagoon. You'll see snook, redfish, snapper, trout, mahi, tarpon, you name it.
The real estate here is mostly single-family homes. Many of them are older, built in the 60s and 70s, and most are not in HOAs.
You'll see plenty of revitalized older homes, additions, enclosed patios, and reworked floor plans, so styles and sizes vary widely.
There's something here for every budget, from the little townhouse to the 8-bedroom waterfront compound. We have it all.
Oceanfront condos are the other big segment. Amazing views, lower maintenance, and community amenities. Between these two options, there are the smaller townhouses and duplexes that can be very affordable. If you want a true neighborhood feel with the amenities, look for Beachwood's Oceanside Village in Aquarina for gated single-family or townhouse options. If you're wondering about who lives here, a rough feel is a strong majority of full-time residents with a meaningful seasonal crowd in winter. Tourism picks up in January through May when it's snowing up north. No surprises there. Okay, so how's the weather? Here is a graph of the average highs and lows for every month. Important to note, it's basically just as hot as much of the northern states in the summer. I'm initially from Maryland, I can confirm, but it's way warmer in the winter. This is because we have the tropical climate being near the equator, which also means we have a rainy season and a drier season. Pretty clear to see. June to September is the peak of the rainy season and also coincides with hurricane season. You're in Florida, so storms are a part of life, but the Space Coast has historically fared better than many areas of the state. Most homes now have either impact windows or hurricane shutters for protection. If you somehow find a property without them, you can add them. Shutters are more affordable at $225 to $400 per window, while impact windows will run you closer to $1,200 to $1,600 per window. If you're concerned about flooding, check the flood zone for a specific address. Most of Indialantic and Melbourne Beach are not in special flood zones, but always confirm for the property that you're considering. FEMA has a great tool for this. I'll put it in the description. You also get days notice for big storms. Your property can't hit the road like you can, but that's why there's property insurance, which is another hot topic. Florida insurance is not our favorite topic. Premiums are high statewide and have risen in recent years for several reasons, including storms and past policy issues. Newer homes generally insure better and are much cheaper. Roof age matters a lot. Insurers don't like roofs near the end of their life. This is usually 15 years for shingle and 20 or more for metal. You'll often see agents highlight roof, HVAC, electrical, and plumbing in the listing description for exactly this reason. On plumbing, many mid-century homes were built with cast iron drain lines, stuff usually in the 60s. Cast iron can fail over time and replacement can be invasive and expensive. A thorough inspection is an absolute must. Many homes have already been repiped, but you just want to make sure that you verify. Compared to many coastal markets, property taxes here are generally reasonable for Florida, and homestead benefits can help for primary residences. Median prices vary by product, single family versus condo, oceanfront versus inland, and by condition. As I mentioned, we have something here for every budget. If you want current numbers for your price point, I'd be happy to pull comps and do a neighborhood snapshot. If you're looking for a coastal Florida town that still feels like a hidden gem, Melbourne Beach and Indialantic deliver. Real community, excellent beaches, outdoor lifestyle, and proximity to everything, without losing that mellow, beautiful, quiet vibe.
I've lived in Melbourne Beach. I now live in Indialantic, so if you're curious about making the move, drop a comment with any additional questions, grab my contact info from the link in the description, and I'd be happy to help you to get to know the area. See you soon.